Welcome to the Wednesday preview. We're looking forward to a good card of racing at Warwick Farm. As you can see behind us, quite a sunny day in Sydney.
It's a beautiful, nice turnaround from yesterday.
Yeah, it's got a nice April. We're sort of towards the end of April now, almost into May. And still,
it's going to be a little bit different for you in 2 weeks' time though.
Yeah, looking forward to getting down to the nice brisk weather in Victoria. But racing today, we've got a 3 metre rail at Warwick Farm. How are you expecting it to play?
I'd say relatively on pace, up there.
Yep, generally the case.
It's generally the case at Warwick Farm these days. We very rarely get to see run on tracks there anymore.
Unless they overdo it early with the speed. What about the 2-year-old race, the first? Chris Waller starting to unleash a few of his babies here. They got the favourite in Earth at 2:10, and I thought its debut run was quite good beyond in the Vanguard.
Yeah, I thought its run was good. Its trial was quite good the other day. It's bred to get over a little bit further. It's funny, one thing, people never think of Chris Waller as a 2-year-old trainer. He actually tends to train the most 2-year-old winners, and he doesn't even start winning races until like roughly around this period.
It just shows how strong he comes late with his 2-year-olds. And well, do you really want to have a bet here in this first? I thought Earth was short enough at $2.10, but I didn't really want to back too much to beat it.
If you really wanted to play in the race, I'd be happy to have small bets against it. Because just looking at its trial, it trialled a Prodigy. Yes, it did trial better than it. His Prodigy's the full to Boban.
Yep.
I thought $18 it, $2.40. I couldn't see that much of a discrepancy in their trials.
I thought Songs of Earth trialled okay. It's got an inside gate for James Cummings and Timmy Clark.
He was one that was interesting. I thought Catch a Wave's run was quite good the other day. I thought Warwick Farm would suit it more so than Wyong. And I thought you could forgive Radcliffe's run. Yep. He's on the inside. He ran into trouble a few times. It was really not the place to be at Canberra on debut. And I thought his trials prior to that were very good, so I could easily work around some of those horses at the bigger prices.
Rightio, moving on to race number 2, and boy, there's been a big go here for Montignac. Opened up $4.80 with some bookmakers on Monday, and that price has certainly diminished. You got about a 5-cent deduction with the scratchings for cash strapped and raised the limit, but into odds on now to $1.90. That seems a little bit short for my reckoning. Yeah, at the current price. Good luck if you're on at the $4 or $3.50 or $4.80, but $1.90 I don't think I could dive in.
No, I don't want to bet against him. I don't want to be with him at that price. Good luck to the punters that are on.
Well, Montignac, he's coming out of the race behind Falkenberg, which Dubai in style really just sort of put the pressure on early, which got a few of them out of their comfort zone. There doesn't look to be as severe pace in this race, and I imagine James McDonald will probably be able to take up a little bit of a further forward position from that gate. Rose Alicia's form I don't think is too bad, but I think the early betting, which had sort of gambled and Vane Elaine as the favourites ahead of Montignac, was certainly very wrong,
as we're saying.
So that's been shown up there. Race number 3, well, I thought the favourite here, Liberty Island, was a little bit short at $3.20.
I wanted to be right against it.
I wanted to be against it, and also Santa Rocks. I didn't think those two horses were the two that I wanted to be on. I thought Blendwell coming out of the form behind Vergara, Heavens Above, also Reese.
Its run at the mile was good, two starts back, hitting the line, looked like I was possibly went further, went up there, its run was also good. I thought coming back to the mile was probably what it's looking, rock hard fit now. Yeah. I'm happy, I could easily be on it.
Yeah, it's got a fair bit of weight, but it's drawn a good gate in barrier 2 and comes down in grade. Duke of Valentinois resumes for its second preparation, and could this be a bit like Havana Cooler? Remember, in its first prep, trialled enormous, but just didn't sort of bring its A game on race day, and now it's come back for its second preparation. A couple of quiet trials, James McDonald, John O'Shea, and this looks a pretty weak race compared to those Saturday events where it was strongly supported in its first preparation.
I thought its trials were quite good. I think he looks... Last prep, he's only a little horse. I don't expect him to have grown or anything. But he wasn't riding the coat last prep. He didn't look like he had settled into Australia just yet. I think he's come back and he's in better order. I think we're in agreement. They look the two to be.
The one that I think could be a little bit of a surprise packet here is Consign, first up for Chris Waller. Had one run for Sam Kavanagh and had it trialled quite nicely leading into that event in Sydney, and then he took it to Adelaide and it looked like they went there for a kill, and it just didn't work out. But you can see what Waller can do with these imports, and its form in Europe prior to coming to Australia was pretty strong, sort of around that 105 rating in England, which is sort of measured up around Saturday class with some of the horses that come down. So I just wouldn't be surprised to see Consign run well fresh First up at the 1600 metres there, around $15. Race 4, which is first leg of the quaddie. Well, the market here has Reincarnate favourite at $3.50 on the back of a pretty strong win over To Be Sure at Kembla Grange.
Yep.
It doesn't really enthuse me at that price though, at $3.50.
I think he's probably around his right price. I'm not enthused to back him at that price.
Yep.
Everything kind of went his way, but he was a horse, in my opinion, showed a lot of ability early. It was rather disappointing. They brought him back as a gelding this prep. He's gone bang bang. He's doing everything right, and he's a horse that looks like he could work his way through the grades. He's got good tactical speed, allows himself to put himself there. I'm not overly enthused to back him at the price, but I'm probably marking him what he is.
The horse that interests me here is Invincible Knight, having its first run for John Thompson,
Yep.
formerly trained by Peter Moody, and was fourth in a listed race behind Silent Sedition at the Bendigo Guineas last start. And I don't think that's a bad form event for a midweek, what is this, benchmark 67 or 72 or whatever it is, the 1300 metres. It's rock hard fit. I can't imagine John Thompson would have had to do too much with it. The horse is up in its preparation, and sort of $6 each way. I'd be preferring to play it coming out of listed form in Melbourne than Reincarnate coming out of a Kembla Grange win on a Saturday.
Yeah. The other horse I was a little bit interested in was Unbiased, stablemate to the favourite. I thought its runs last prep were very good. He was just nutted on the line, the Trafalgar. Looks like a staying horse on his way up. I'm expecting him to sprint well fresh off a pretty good trial.
What about Mr. Darcy first up? What do you think of its trials?
I thought its trials were good. He was scratched at the gate. I was on him the other day when he was scratched. I thought his trials have been good. He looks to be flying. He was quite short and hard in the market. It was good money for him the other day, and now he's out to like $18. I can't fathom why he's out to that price.
Race 5, a mare's race, sprint event over the 1200 metres. Butterboom favourite James Innes Jr. goes on. James McDonald coming off. I think that's a big pointer for today. Butterboom was heavily supported in that first up race and just got the job done. It was sort of had everything in its favour and it fell in. I don't want to be on it at $3.20 today. The one that interested me was Francais for Chris Waller and Hugh Bowman. Coming backing trip to the 1200 metres. I thought its past couple of runs have been okay, $6 each way. Looked to be not a bad option. And the other one at big odds I thought looked to be an interesting runner here was the two, Absolute Impress for Ronnie Quinton, Travis Wolfgram to ride. She's a mare that is obviously mixed to form. She isn't that consistent, but when she puts her best mind on the job, she's certainly been competitive in races like this, and when I just saw $17, I thought that was a big over.
Yeah, I'd happily have a small spec on her. That'd be my only play in the race. I thought the trials were satisfactory, and I could see running a cheeky race.
Righto, race number 6. We got a big field here, wide open market. You've got Paint $5, Rockalicious 6, Careless at 7, and also Trafalgar there drawn wide at $7. I thought Rockalicious trialled really well leading into a first up run, and then when I saw a parade at Rosehill in the race that was won by the Godolphin horse Federal, that's going to go around on Saturday in a stakes event, she looked quite big in condition, and I think she raced that way. She raced up to win, but just sort of knocked up the last little bit, and I was expecting her to be in a Saturday grade race and probably be competitive. Now she comes back to a Wednesday. She gets the claim here for Rory Hutchings, good gate. I think she
should just be sitting.
Yeah, I'd imagine she's going to be there with that run under her belt. I wouldn't be surprised if she's a mare that could measure up to sort of low-level stakes grade, maybe at Scone, leading into the Brisbane Carnival. And if that's the case, I think she's got to be competitive here. The other one that interests me was Careless from the inside gate, around $7. I was happy to be against Paint. It's never really been a horse I've been enthused with.
No.
He did win good over the 1,000 metres.
He did. He kind of surprised a little over the 1,000 metres. I give Rockalicious a very good chance. I think she put herself in the race for all the reasons you said. Also, I'm really interested in Trafalgar. I thought his runs last prep were very, very good. His win at Canterbury that day over Unbiased was very impressive. He hit the line that last bit. He's only had the one trial, which I like, because I do think he's going to want further, and I do expect him to sprint quite well fresh.
Where does he get to, though, from the gate? That's my concern, that he might just be giving too much of a start.
That's going to be the query. I'd like to try and see him sit a little bit closer and get a little bit of cover, but I'm assuming he will likely go back. But I do think there's a bit of pace in the race. One other horse I do expect to run quite well fresh in a Wink. thought the trial was good the other day.
It's
Big odds at 20. Yeah, stakes winner, big odds, 20-1 for mine.
Last race on the card is a 1,000 metre sprint, very open if you sort of don't like Macey the favourite. I thought Macey was short enough at $2.60. I thought its stablemate Arujo was probably not bad value at $6. It can be a little bit hit and miss, but the 1,000 metres at Warwick Farm, when it's drawn out a touch, seems to be okay. Princess Ailani from the 2 could be pretty speedy, but I'm sort of having a bit of a guess here in the last race. I don't really like. I'm sort of against Macey. Just thinking $2.60 is a little bit short.
I think he's around his right price. I thought his win the other day was quite good. Gelding now, kind of makes his own luck, puts himself there. I thought he was the horse to be. The other horse I am interested in is Capitano. Didn't have a lot of luck the other day. Should have at least run second. Some say could have gone closer if not won. I thought they were the 2 there for mine.
What's your best of the day?
No real best of the day here. I think it's a tricky race. I think Trafalgar's the horse I want to follow out of the day.
Well, the best back looks to be Montagnac in race 2. It's off the boards, and I wouldn't be surprised if it sort of continues to firm from its current price. My best of the day, probably each way, would be Rockalicious race 6, number 2, around the $6 mark.
Good luck.
Thank you.